and welcome to Coffee with Cassie's Mom. We're here to discuss how parents can be more involved with their student and have a more successful college experience. Today, I'm here with Professor Pettigrew, and she's Associate Professor of Theater at JCCC. Welcome, Professor Pettigrew.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me. This is going to be great fun talking with an actual parent about things that are real issues for us as faculty members. So thanks for having me.
Thank you. I know from my own college experience how important the syllabus was. To be able to follow that document, to understand and make your classroom experience more successful. When we were handed out the syllabus, it was just this large, mysterious piece of paper with a lot of information on it. How important is a syllabus and what is it?
You know, we get a lot of incoming freshmen who sit in the classroom and they simply wait for the instructor to tell them what to do, to tell them what the next assignment is going to be, to give them the deadlines on a class-to-class basis. And unfortunately, when that happens, the student is not able to look at the overall expectation of the classroom. He or she doesn't really understand the structure of the class, and really get those due dates into their own personal calendar. So a syllabus is a way of keeping the student on track. And as a matter of fact, I know that in my classes, I take them very seriously, and it's a contract that I have between me and the student, and I don't like either one of us to break that contract. So the minimum requirements of a syllabus is to give the instructor contact information, whether it's office phone number, email address, so that the student feels comfortable and confident in contacting the instructor whenever they have questions. The other minimum requirement of a syllabus is to include the course outcomes or objectives. And these are not frivolous things. These really are outcomes and objectives that the entire department has agreed upon, so that we're basically teaching the same course no matter what section you take. It's just all individualized by the instructor. So those are really important, and it's important for the students not to gloss over those objectives, because the student needs to feel that at the end of this semester, these are the things that I'm supposed to have accomplished in order to be successful in the classroom. And then the next thing that the syllabus will have will be the actual course requirements. In other words, how do I meet those objectives and outcomes? What do I have to do? So for example, the requirements might say that you have 4 tests throughout the semester, that there is indeed a written component, that attendance does count, because in some classes you get points for attendance, in other classes you don't. So it is critical for a student to look at each syllabus, course by course, to understand what that contract is with the instructor in order to be successful. And then other syllabi might include the actual course schedule. I know that I'm kind of a micromanager in terms of my courses, and so my syllabi tend to be about 7 or 8 pages long, because I have on there the calendar so that the student knows exactly what we're doing every single day. It has the assignments built into the syllabus so that a student can look ahead and plan. Gosh, if I have a 10-page paper to do in my sociology class, then I need to figure out how to do my theater performance critique at a different time so that I'm not overwhelmed and overloaded. So those are some of the basic fundamentals of a good syllabus.
So you're saying if my son or daughter comes to me and doesn't know a due date or isn't clear on what is assigned, it sounds like the syllabus is the first place they're supposed to look.
That would be absolutely the first place. It's not the last place, but it's the first place. And again, instructors individualize their syllabi. So if due dates are not on that syllabus, then you should certainly encourage your student to contact the instructor, because all of them will have contact information. And it's not as if we sit on the top of a mountain or in an ivory tower. We're here because we want to be a part of the student's success. And so anything we can do to make the student more successful, because you know, if they're not successful, I take that really personally.
Yeah. Well, I think as a parent, that will be the first thing I ask my son or daughters to share with me the syllabus information and learn more about the class that way. Thank you, Professor Pettigrew, for sharing that in-depth look at the syllabus.
You're welcome.
That's all for today. If you'd like more information, you may look on Coffee with Cassie's Mom menu, or for students, Coffee with Cassie. Take time and smell the roses.